always positive.
You know we're positive here on CWA.
Be encouraged.
I like to encourage Steve to wear wild holiday festive hats.
Yep.
We rejoice through music.
We rejoice through music. We jam out through music. We jiggle, kind of, for white guys.
We'll gather courage to face our daily challenges.
I had some daily challenges today. I'll get to in a minute.
Man.
Definitely.
Change towards the goodness.
I'm working on change.
Always.
You know?
Change is good.
I'm a butterfly. I'm coming out of my cocoon. What's up?
That's what we do in Africa.
That's what they do in Africa. They have cocoons and butterflies. I think.
I'm sure they do.
I'm not
right?
a zoological master. Yeah.
Are you getting that?
I mean, I'm getting it.
I'm always getting it.
Crystal clear.
Thank
Crystal.
you very much.
He's so polite. He thanks us every time.
He does. And then he gives a little courtesy laugh after.
Some people are addicted to this.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to this little banter we have going here. I'm quite addicted to it. So.
Me too.
What is up, Steve?
What is going on?
Welcome to another episode of CWA Christians.
With attitude.
All sorts of attitude.
Attitude, all kinds of attitudes.
Yeah, man. Dude, today was the day. Today was full-time Christmas shopping, like wild battle axes flying at the local mall.
Do tell.
I mean, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Already? No, here's the deal.
First, here's the deal.
Count them. 1.
Dude, there were so many people in that mall. It was. We would call that.
You're giving me stress. I ain't even go with you.
I think nut to bud is the official slang term for that.
Yeah.
That's the Beavis and Butthead term.
Yeah. Which
But,
mall?
We went Stonebriar in Frisco there, which it's not a bad one. Hey, I did finally have a killer record store there, so they had like a really good little vinyl shop in there. So
that's dangerous.
I will not admit whether I did or didn't get anything for anyone on my list, but
I'm betting you did.
But I was super excited
betting,
because
man.
my daughter, who's a mid teenager range, she was like, she got excited about vinyl, and I was like, what? Yes, Lord, yes.
Yes. My prayers.
It's finally breaking through. But yeah, like, and then we're in like Bath and Body Works, which first of all, don't you feel like when you go in there, it's like olfactory overload. You just walk in, just all the lotions and all the sprays, and it's just all hitting you at once, and your nasal passages are going like, what is going on?
It doesn't know how to handle that.
Yeah, it's like total overkill. And there were so many people in there, like, the poor people working there were just like trying to like find a spot, like kind of like a Tetris, human Tetris. They're just trying to find some spot they could stand without like being in somebody's way.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Did you get anything at Bath and Body Works?
We might have got a couple things. It was a good spot because it's like it's a good price.
Some lotion for the head and the forehead?
Usually the chickadees in the family tend to always dig some of that, and they're not going to go get it for themselves on a regular basis. So like, why not like?
Yeah. Good idea.
But you got to smell the smells out because it's like, you know, it could smell wonderful and like a, you know, overlooking a mountain and a forest, or it could smell like a cheap brothel. Like you really don't know.
You heard it here first on the CWA podcast. Smell the smell first.
Yeah, don't get your wife or girlfriend the cheap brothel smell because, you know.
I think this goes for candles as well. Smell the candle before you give it to somebody as well.
Smell the candle. Yeah. You know.
Always smell the candle.
And that's a whole. We could hold sometime in the future. We need to go to like man smells versus female smells because you know guys talk like sandalwood and you know it's all these are earthy woody tones. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
As for down the road, but there was a ton of people there. But we got some stuff done. Like I'm an efficient shopper.
Yeah.
And that's why our daughter likes going with me. Maybe a little more than the wife because. You know, men would just shop differently. You know, even when we don't know what we want,
still point A to point B.
We're still like, we're like, let's get there, let's make a decision. Let's not, nope, out. I'm over here, and I'm go over that. You know, it's not this just, you know, malaise of forever browsing that goes nowhere. And
that's why they got all those benches sitting out there for us guys.
Yeah, even though I will say that's a travesty among retail stores. Retail stores would be doing so much better. If they had, I feel like I've said this before, it's like deja vu, but if they had like a man chill zone, you know, like, where they got like lazy boys sitting back, they got, you know, the cold beverage, they got the game on.
PlayStation will work.
I mean, the guys would be like, honey, stay as long as you want, spend as much as you want.
Here's my extra credit card.
Like, dude, I am in my happy place. It's all good, you know?
Yeah. There's a Market Street grocery store that has a bar in it.
Okay, I was like, they have man zone.
Yeah, they have a bar in it, which is also kind of smart for the guy. Just comes over there and chills the whole time while the wife is buying the other stuff. So yeah, I've always thought that too, especially in the mall. That's very needed in the mall. It's not like they don't have the space.
Yeah, I mean, malls are like closing and stuff, and it felt good, like to get away from. Like, I know we're in an Amazon world, and everybody has to buy like 90% of presents online, but it felt good to like go into brick and mortar and go buy a couple things in person physically that I could touch and look at. Like, I still kind of dig that. You
kind of miss that little, little connection with.
I kind of hate that everything comes from Amazon. It's like,
yep, Amazon world these days for sure.
It is an Amazon world.
I got this hat on Amazon, and the shirt.
Yeah, and we accidentally. I didn't mean to wear red. I had no idea he was going to wear green. I was actually wearing a different shirt earlier. Spilled some water or something on it.
Yeah.
So I changed into red.
Yeah.
He happened to wear green. Merry bleeping Christmas. You're welcome. So,
I was going to do a bit, so.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's full of bits. So. Speaking of, 'tis the season, man.
'Tis the season.
It's full
here.
on. It's full on, dude. Like,
it is here.
We're in the season. So we're going to discuss some various things from the season.
Yeah.
Things that you got to kind of deal with every year, and things you categorize every year. And we can start with holiday movies, Christmas movies. Sometimes my wife gets depressed this time of year because, like on the I think it's the Hallmark Channel, they'll take the Golden Girls off this time of year and start. I mean, they start like early. Like I don't remember, like months ago. With like Christmas movies on Hallmark, which we might have discussed this before. Like everything feels like deja vu, but it's like it's the thing. The traditional story where it's always like the perfect pretty white people in the small town. And it's like. It's always like one of them, the guy or the girl, went away for some like high profile career,
something,
and they were like chasing the dream, and then they came back for some reason to the little podunk town, and and they kind of totally lost the spirit of Christmas. And then here's this cute, attractive other person that they maybe used to like give wet willies back in middle school or something too, and it's like. And then, they kind of had a thing, but then something goes horribly wrong, and one makes the wrong impression, and they freak out, and then, like, next year at the very end, they all come together, and then they have, like, the perfect... And then their decorations are, like, so ridiculously good. Like, every house looks like they had a professional decorator, in the whole town. Like,
wow, yeah.
And I'm like...
So true.
Like, none of us can live up to that. But
so true, yeah.
It's a fun, like, fake illusion to just chase, man. But
every party has, like, 70 people in it, and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's people making out under mistletoe everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have the political drunk uncle, none of that.
No, none of those. Yeah, they took Golden Girls off for that though. That's brave.
I know, it is a shame.
That's brave.
Because we sleep. We go to bed with the Golden Girls every night. So favorite Christmas movies for you, man? Like, what are your good ones?
Man, I was thinking about this. It's hard to narrow it down to one. I think
you don't have to narrow it to one. You can give me like top three or.
Okay, let's go. I'm gonna have to go. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a black and white one, and then they made it in color in the 90s. Yeah, and I grew up on it, man. I watched it every year. I know to the point where I know every single line of the movie. And my friends, we all watched it together, and we, every time we both did that. Every time we saw something in real life, we would quote the lines. You seen It's a Wonderful Life? And have you seen it?
Here's what's sad. I think I've seen it like once, but it was so not. I was the opposite. It was the movie that was off our radar, because I don't think my parents were into it.
Yeah,
and we were just into the other ones that I'll probably mention. So just
that one was definitely in our.
It's a classic.
Yeah, and it has, and if you've seen it, it's the reason for the season. He's a guy's going through a whole bunch of stuff, down on his luck, thinks about ending it. Guardian angel comes, shows him what his life would be like if he wasn't here, and. Obviously, he meant a lot, and then he comes back, and then, happy ending of, everything goes, as planned there. But yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is one. I would say, I like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's a classic. You gotta.
It's gonna be my top three.
You have to watch that. Well, you gave me two.
I said that's got to be in my top three. I got one more. I'm thinking.
But no, let's stop there for a minute. Yeah, that one.
Loading.
That one is a classic, man. In fact, our daughter, the youngest daughter, she hadn't seen it, I don't believe. So we've got to rectify that this year.
Oh, you know what? I haven't either. I don't think my youngest daughter's seen it either.
Yeah, I mean, we got to rectify that. I mean, dude, Chevy Chase in his prime.
What? Yeah, all the lights.
Cousin Eddie, the lights. Yeah. When he lubes up the bottom of the sled or the disc or whatever, and it goes ridiculous.
the squirrel in the tree, the grandpa. Yeah. Cousin Eddie goes and gets his boss. Yeah, that movie's classic. And even the mall scenes that he's in the mall with his son and boss. Yeah, you know, anything that's coming to you. That's actually probably going to be my top one. And then do you have any more on that? What else is good on that? That's a good movie, man. Now I want to go watch it tonight. The station wagon. The third one I would probably say it's A Christmas Story. You'll Shoot Your Eye Out.
Okay. I'm glad because like we have some different directions here, like some other stuff.
I'll Shoot Your Eye. You know,
that's a classic one, though.
Right, with the lamp leg.
Yeah, lamp leg is famous.
Yeah, and you know, he's helping his dad change a tire, and he cusses and soap in the mouth.
Yeah, that's just a fun like coming of age kind of flick.
BB gun, You Shoot Your Eye. Yeah, those are my top three in any order.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, I'm gonna go with. Obviously Christmas Vacation was in my. I don't know if I can stick to three, so I'll say. I mean, Elf is killer. Will Ferrell and Elf. It's hard to beat Elf. That's become a classic. Yeah. You know, obviously it wasn't when I was a kid.
Yeah, Elf
but
is
like
great.
Now it's kind of a classic. You have to watch it when he keeps calling the little guy Elf and he's say it one more time and I'm gonna jump over.
If you say Die Hard, I'm unplugging the podcast.
A lot of people consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, which is
that's a poll we need to take.
I enjoy the humor of it. Yeah, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Neither is Gremlins. They say Gremlins is a Christmas movie. No, it's just in Christmas time.
To me, that never felt like Gremlins never felt like Christmas movie.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I went on a rant there.
But that one was good. I do count Home Alone as a Christmas movie. First Home Alone was just that's a banger movie. That's just so much physical humor, ridiculousness. Macaulay Culkin when he was still cute. Joe Pesci, and the other dude being the perfect villains.
Yeah, it's the first movie I ever saw in theater. Yeah, Home Alone was great.
That was good.
That's a good one.
Another one I liked was Bill Murray Scrooged.
Oh yes,
that was a fun one.
That is a really good one.
Because Bill Murray's so insane anyway, and playing that role, it was kind of perfect for him. So where he's just kind of this corporate jerk boss running a network or something, I think, and then he kind of similar to It's a Wonderful Life, I think, in a way. Gets the
Scrooge is great.
That was good. Also, one of the some of the animated ones when we were kids was like the Rudolph one. Which was like cool and kind of trippy and kind of creepy, all at the same time. Like that kind of weird animation.
Yeah.
Where it's like the Abominable Snowman and the was that the one with the Island of Misfit Toys? Or the Land of Misfit Toys?
Yes, and it had the elf that was his partner or went and helped him or whatever. Yeah, I need to rewatch it, I guess. But yeah, Rudolph is a classic. So is the Peanuts Christmas.
Peanuts Christmas, can't forget that with the little. That one's awesome just because you got the little ridiculous small tree.
Yeah.
You got and then just from a Christian perspective, man. Is it Linus that brings it? Who brings who reads the story in Luke?
I think it's Linus, isn't it?
I feel like it's Linus, but yeah, when they're all stuck on the materialism and they're stuck on the hey, let's get the fancy aluminum tree and all this fancy stuff, and which is so 70s, by the way.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah, dude, it's about Jesus. Let me tell you the story,
Yeah.
So that one's cool. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you this: are you old Grinch or new Grinch? Are you Jim Carrey Grinch or animated Grinch?
That is a good question. Man, yeah, it's hard to go against Jim Carrey Grinch, but I'm gonna go old school. Just the cartoon Grinch. I mean, that's the one I grew up on.
I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, I mean the Grinch. I mean he
did a good job.
Killed that role because it's a physical comedy and he kills all those roles. But man, the original one, I think just the music and the old cartoon with lots more music than words is always interesting to me because
it seemed like more poetic. The whole thing was really like reading a Dr. Seuss book or something, and that one,
right? Yeah.
When that's on, it's tiny. I feel like that's one you almost have to watch at least once before in the season.
Right. White Christmas, didn't make your radar. I'm naming a whole bunch of old ones, ain't I? Isn't that an old black and white one?
Probably and those were just so off my radar because I think.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was really young and would have watched those.
Yeah.
Was during I'll call it the religious lockdown where where we were just focused in on hardcore.
Yeah.
If there was music playing, it was the Bill Gaither trio.
Yeah, I'm a rebel.
I wasn't allowed to watch Scooby-Doo and things like that. But
wow.
But I mean, like I said, once I got older, it was it was movies that we would want to watch as kids, and no kids in the '80s were gonna be like, "Hey, mom, put in the black and white movie," or like.
What about Tim Allen played Santa?
Okay, yeah. Or is it the Crumps or the Crunks? Or,
Something like that, right?
my wife loves that one. That's actually the one where they
I think it's actually called Claws.
Well, he did too. He did Claw. He did Claws, and that was good.
Yeah.
But I think the one we like the most is it the Crumps or the?
Yeah.
It's like the family that like decide their kids are gone for Christmas that year.
Wow.
So Tim Allen decides that he's gonna like not do Christmas.
Yeah.
And they're gonna
I remember
instead
that.
go like on a cruise to the Bahamas, and like Dan Aykroyd's in his neighborhood.
Wow.
And they're having none of it, so they're getting like hassled by all the neighborhood because they're basically like, turning their back on Christmas.
So many good ones, man.
That's a good one.
What's crazy about this topic, y'all? What's y'all's favorite Christmas movie? Comment down there and below. But like, I'll go on the way home from leaving this. I'll think of 9 more.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to some quick hitting things.
Yeah, let's go.
Eggnog or no?
I'm a non-eggnog guy, and I don't buy it. But if I go somewhere and they have eggnog, I'm not turning it down. Let's leave it at that.
Now, if you did have it somewhere, loaded or unloaded?
Loaded, unloaded, whichever way that household ran is what I would do. If they loaded it, I'm not gonna say no. But if they don't load it,
yeah,
whatever they do, I would say probably 9 times out of 10. I think when someone buys that, it's loaded.
Yeah, I feel like when you're a kid, you go unloaded all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you get older, like, it's such a thick drink, you feel like you need a little more bang for the buck to get through the thick sweetiness of it all.
You gotta
Like
have something in there.
So that's where a little rum, a little whiskey, something thrown in. Yeah.
Eggnog shake, I'm out. Too thick.
Yeah. Now some of the preloaded ones, those are like, they go a little crazy on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, settle down there, Betty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about that one? Real or fake tree?
As a little kid growing up in my youth,
when I was a wee lad.
Yeah. When I was a wee lad in the 1980s, we had fake trees. Just because, honestly, it's from an economical standpoint, you get
big
one.
words.
Big words. You know, Steve. Yeah. You know
5 syllables.
5 syllables. You use it over and over and over and over and over. But now we do. Not saying we're balling now, but we do real tree because that's what my wife says we do. Okay. I mean, we do real tree now. I just never really had a tradition, whether growing up real or fake. It was just kind of like I rolled with it. But we do real tree. We go to Home Depot. We pick it out together. We don't go off in the woods like they do on National Lampoons. But
you don't tie a giant tree to your station wagon.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of the opposite as far as the timeline. Like when I was a kid, we did more real tree.
Yeah.
Which still always felt dangerous because we had like cats in the house. And I just felt like we were always there's a fire hazard somewhere. Always.
Right.
And then as I got older, like ever since I've been growing up, actually putting a tree in my own house, it's always been a fake tree. Just because it's like I'll buy one, it'll last for 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just you throw it in the box when the season's done, you pull it out. Yeah. The biggest pain in the butt is the fluffing.
Do you before you get to the next one? When do you put your tree up? Thanksgiving Day before?
So we used to do it.
Where's the line on y'all's?
We used to do it like right after Thanksgiving, like either the day after or that weekend after.
Yeah.
It was kind of this week.
Yeah.
The wife, she done said I want it up earlier, so we actually had it up before Thanksgiving this year.
Good husband.
So we, and I don't know that I care that much. I mean, I like to get into the season. I don't want to do it like mid-December where it's like you feel like you got 10 minutes of Christmas season.
Right.
But,
Man, we have a lot of opposites on this. The opposites attract. That's why this podcast is so good. For us, it ain't even up now or bought. It's 12. It's the 10th of December.
Nice.
The reason why is my daughter's birthday is the 7th, and we tried to. My wife. Okay, long story short, my wife's birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. So her whole life she dealt with Valentine's Day. So she didn't want my daughter to deal with that. Even though we love Christ and celebrate the reason, we wait till after her birthday and then we move on to Christmas. So we get it. We put it up this weekend, and then the benefit is it stays up to almost February. That's my excuse, anyways.
Isn't that sweet, people? Look at this guy. We're going to talk about wearing different hats later, but this guy being super dad, super husband.
Yep. Try.
What were some good childhood gifts that you got? When you were a kid.
I think everybody, as soon as you heard this on there, they probably went 6 in their head. Oh man, I remember the first one that comes to mind was the Batman and Robin mobile. Must have been like 7, so we're talking in the 80s, and the movies made a comeback, so it must have been in the early 90s actually. And I remember getting the Batman car with the Batman and Robin, and oh man, and then I had a BB gun. Probably the best Christmas gift I ever got was the original Nintendo. It was 2 years after it came out, but still was the best Christmas present ever. A couple bicycles mixed in there. What about you? What
Yeah,
you
I
got?
mean,
What do you think?
you always have to mix in some bikes. Even though we lived in these apartments where I swear we had 2 or 3 bikes stolen.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Like, it was just like a thing that happened.
Well, that's another podcast topic for another day. Bike stolen.
Bike stolen.
I don't think kids go through that as much as we do. And if they do, mom just goes and gets them one.
Luckily, I never had like a rockin' 80s mongoose or anything.
Yeah,
So don't think, it was a Huffy. Don't worry. Don't feel bad. But yeah, like, I think of that. I think of, I know at some point, we had the Atari, man. Like with the joystick that would just brutalize your hand. You'd have like carpal tunnel syndrome after like 3 months of playing it. That was awesome. I'm sure
Any as an adult?
early NES would be cool. With Super Mario Brothers and all that, wore that out.
Yeah, oh yeah. I play right now.
I think a big thing that we were just joking. We were watching that Everybody Hates Chris show, and he was wanting to get a Walkman. Just kind of dated back to the 80s. But I remember, man, the first time I got like a cassette Walkman, the cassette player with the headphones. So suddenly you could listen to like all the dope Run DMC you wanted to, and your parents, couldn't yell at you or Fat Boys or Beastie Boys or whatever.
You could listen to whatever you want. They didn't know what it was. Yeah.
And dude, like that.
A lot of LL Cool J.
Like kids today that have music on their phone, like it was the same feeling when we first got a cassette Walkman. It was the same feeling as when you suddenly have like Spotify on your phone and like you're just like now we take it for granted, but back then it was such a new thing. That was cool.
No adult gifts that you can think of?
I mean, there's been some cool gifts along the way. I think last year, but a lot of mine happened on birthdays, though.
Yeah,
because usually they'll get you a smaller thing. Occasionally, I got surprised by an Apple Watch, like last year by our oldest daughter. That was really cool.
Yeah. Christmas. I'm fine with socks and underwear, man.
Actually, one of the better adult gifts was my nylon string guitar.
Oh,
that was a Christmas present one year from my wife. A Cordoba nylon string guitar. Like that was like one of the best I ever gotten. So for sure. Yeah. All right, so Christmas songs.
I think Christmas songs, that's when you officially know that Christmas is here. Is like right after you're eating that last or third plate of turkey meat and then you hear Mariah Carey on a commercial and you're like, uh-oh, it's began. So, yeah. And then you turn all the channels, they turn into Christian. I mean, even a couple of Christian channels are playing Christmas music. Anywhere you go to any store, it's blaring. So that's when you know officially music is definitely one of the signals that Christmas is here. And Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas is usually the first one they...
Okay, well, so let's talk about that one. Yeah, are you yay or nay? A lot of people, that's their kryptonite.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's their kryptonite. You hate it? Can you deal with it?
I think it was okay the first 2 or 3 times I heard it, but after the 19th year, I'm good. It's okay.
Yeah.
She sang better when she was younger than me. I think as she got older, voice is not as...
Yeah, like I know I should totally hate the song, but it's like, Yeah. I'm probably somewhere neutral. Like
I'm neutral
whatever.
on it. Yeah.
If I had to hear it all the time, it'd be a different story. But,
yeah.
You kind of dig the old classic. Like sometimes, especially when Christmas Eve comes, Christmas Day, I like to bust on like the classic. I really dig some of the stuff from like the 60s and just some of the voices and like the classic. I mean, even though some of them are silly songs and
even the Jackson 5 had a Christmas album that's great.
But there's some fun. It's harder to find like modern new songs that are like that good.
Yeah,
people try all the time, but
I think also back then the artist, it was a deal. You did a Christmas album. Garth Brooks has done them. Everybody, Mariah would do them. Yeah. Now it's kind of like I don't think they do them as much. Maybe Christian artists do, but I don't know if I Mariah does because she's known for it. Probably maybe Celine Dion used to do one. So I mean, maybe that's one.
Now, if you picked, I guess let's go with some of your favorite secular ones and then favorite religious ones.
Oh, okay. Sleigh Ride is not religious. Sleigh Ride is probably my favorite Christmas song of all time. And it's really weird. This is going to be weird. I like the orchestra version with there's no words.
Okay.
And they did a fake little at the end. That's probably, and then see what else.
I think in that category, I like Jingle Bell Rock's
Jingle Bell Rock's fine, yeah. What else was in that category? You had to say something smart and separate it in my brain. Now my brain's like, Silent Night is definitely religious, right?
Yeah.
That would probably be my top religious one. And that might be my second favorite, pushing right there even with. It's just so magical. And so you could feel it, like, Even it doesn't even matter who sings it, or it's just like you could just feel that song. So
Silent Night always feels like Christmas Eve service with candlelight or something, that kind of thing.
Amen.
I really love the other two. I love in that category is "O Come, Emmanuel," just because I like it has like a sad vibe to it. Like a lot of more traditional Jewish music kind of has like a minor key sad vibe, So I dig that. And then also "O Holy Night" is a great song. That song's just like powerful and just emotionally moving, and it's a killer song.
The Drummer Boy, second religious or non?
I think officially it is.
Yeah,
it is religious.
Yeah, because like
playing for the Lord or whatever.
Yeah, that one's great.
Now I've seen some over the top versions of that. Like, look, I'm gonna call out some of you. Okay, I'm getting a little soapbox here. Mega churches. You've gone too far. You've gone too far. When you got, we went to one a year or two ago at this church, big mega church here, and dude, no doubt they had like drummers on like wires flying in the air. And,
wow.
And I'm like, it's entertaining. Okay, like it's a fun show to see.
It's like kind of almost too much taking weight.
But it's just over the top. It's just over. It's almost like just flexing because like we can
like a drummer.
We do this because we can do this.
Cage,
like, at some point, just bring it down a notch. That's all I'm saying. We don't need flying drummers.
They hire Phil Collins next year to play it.
I'm just saying they might go too far.
Yeah.
So, but Little Drummer Boy. That was a cool one.
What's the "Oh Come Ye Faithful"?
Oh come all ye faithful. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
I think a lot of times you don't really realize it's more of that religion. That's a good point. You brought that up. That it's more that way than the other way.
I mean, I know this because it's like just having to organize worship stuff every year.
Yeah.
I mean, every worship leader's, that's kind of the thing they have to start thinking about early. And it's like, and that's where you kind of have to separate. That's where you have to separate the secular from the, it's like, okay, we can do that. Well, we can do "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." We can do "Joy to the World." We can do the first Noel.
What about "Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer"?
By the way, I still don't know what a Noel is. So if anybody in the comments,
what's a Noel?
I don't know what the first Noel was. I don't know what the 32nd Noel is.
Yeah,
and I don't know what the last. Is there a last Noel? Like, please let me know.
I've met a couple of Noels, but I don't know. I think the song's about them. Yeah.
So like, I know somehow it's a religious song, but I totally forget. I just know Crowder does a cool version of it. But
Crowder's amazing. "Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer."
And that's definitely on the secular side. Definitely on the secular side.
Remember that came out, I was like, this is a Christmas song? And we're like, okay, all right.
I guess it depends on what happens to her soul after she got run over by a reindeer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what would happen, depend on, for sure. What's the... he's watching you when he's sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
That was Santa Claus coming to town.
Santa Claus
is coming to town.
Yeah, a funny story about that is my daughter would always hear that song growing up, because it's played everywhere. She thought it was creepy that Santa was watching her in her sleep and knows when she's awake.
It is kind of creepy, kind of like Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah.
Very similar. Like, why do we need a spy or a narc in our room at all times?
Right, I guess because Santa wasn't enough. These kids are like, Santa's not here, but this elf is here, and this elf reports to Santa. I don't know. But, she just always thought it was creepy that... Which is kind of... spoiler alert for if you're got kids in the car. She always thought Santa was, it's creepy, so every year we never had to get to it. She never had to get the picture. We could go a little bit, not as much on the Christmas gifts from Santa, and then one year she was like, you know what, I want a Nintendo DS, and I told her, I don't know about that, Allie, it's kind of expensive. And then
you're like, Santa doesn't have that kind of money.
Santa, I don't know, Santa, it's COVID, I don't know, Santa's been, and I went to work and I came home and there was pictures of Allie and my daughter Allie and Santa on the coffee table there, and her just smiling away, and I'm like, what? All of a sudden she likes Santa. I went and knocked on her door. She said, hey Dad, guess what? She was about 11, on that age, and she was like, you don't have to get that Nintendo DS anymore. Don't worry, I asked Santa Claus for it today.
Nice.
And I said, oh, okay, I hope he brings it for you. And then went and checked my credit card balances. But anyways, that song always stands out as something there.
Now, which is creepier, that song or "Every Breath You Take" by the Police?
Oh man, it's kind of similar, but I think "Every Breath You Take" is gonna be more creepier, because at least in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, there's other stuff going on in that song, right?
You're saying there's at least in that there's a payoff.
Yeah.
You might get presidents or something.
Every breath you take.
Every breath you take, you just have a stalker, and there's not really a payoff.
Right. Yeah.
Unless you fall in love with your stalker, like there's some kind of syndrome where you fall in love with your kidnapper. Anyway, whatever.
I don't know.
Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
But yeah, Christmas music is definitely, that tells you it's officially started. And then after, what's kind of crazy is after Christmas Day, does anybody listen to Christmas music? I don't think so.
No, but I will say this. Many times, I'm not in the vibe during the season. And then in the middle of June or July, in some horrible, inopportune time, that's when Christmas songs come to my brain. So.
Okay. Well, you're a music director, so you get a pass on that one.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Can't explain it.
Yeah, you get a pass on that one.
Yeah, so let's get into some, we're talking about the season, obviously. And a big thing is really knowing what the actual reason of the season is, right? So, we would be doing ill justice to our Christian faith if we didn't talk about,
the healer.
What's the purpose of this, and why is it such exciting news? And and for those that didn't know, it's Jesus was promised to be this Messiah, to be this king. In modern days, we don't necessarily. So many people think that they're just either neutral or fairly good, or I'm not as bad as the serial killers on the street or whatever. Yeah, by the way, everybody's got a serial
Google
killer on the street. Yeah.
Don't Google anything about your neighborhood. You will feel nervous for the rest of the time.
But but look, man, we all fall short, even of our own expectations, right? And so, if I can't even live up to my own expectations, I'm obviously falling way short of a perfect God's expectations. So that could be depressing and full of despair, and and you see that in lots of other faiths, where it's just this kind of hamster wheel of I'm trying, I'm doing the thing, and the mantras and the chakras and the this and the meditations and the this and the workshops and the 5 books and the 10 things, and I'm constantly doing these things, and at the end of it all, just chasing it. And on our own, through our own efforts, we cannot get there. We just cannot get there.
Man.
And so it's and then you got to think from the historical time period, right? When Jesus came, they had not heard, even God hadn't spoken to the prophets in hundreds of years. So basically you had a people that were sold out, at least somewhat sold out for God. They did plenty of sinning, and then he'd punish them somehow, and then they'd repent and blah, blah, blah. But, but if anybody cared about God and were looking for Messiah, it was them. And they just heard nothing, crickets for hundreds of years.
Wow.
And then, man, to imagine I kind of mentioned this when we were leading the worship the other day, to imagine if you're there and all of a sudden you're in a field and your shepherds will say, and you see these angels proclaiming that dude, he's finally here. I just don't think we have any frame of reference to comprehend how big that was.
Gave me chill bumps just saying it.
Yeah, there's nobody in modern America that we've just been waiting for hundreds of years. Your grandparents told you, their grandparents told them, their grandparents told them. There's, none of us are expecting this Savior. So we have no clue what that level of excitement would have been to be man, not only is it true that he's going to come, because we've always been promised he's going to come, but to those people then, man, it's he's going to come now. You're going to witness it.
Wow.
You're living, and I imagine it's going to be the same way when the second coming happens.
Yeah, the second time. Yeah.
That's really what we as believers are now waiting on, right? The second coming. So if we actually go out tomorrow and trumpets are in the air and he's in the sky,
that'd be awesome.
We're going to be oh my God, he's here.
That's awesome.
He's here. Oh,
just don't worry about uploading the podcast.
Don't worry about paying your taxes. Who cares? Jesus is back.
Man, that would be so awesome.
But it was just such hope, and it was just now there's a way. Before that they just couldn't see a way. They're just sacrificing all these animals. I still have sin. I still struggle with sin. I still can't get past this stuff. I still have my pride. Even if they were super religious, they'd have the sin of pride, and to just man, suddenly our liberation has come. I imagine even though this is really dark, a dark twist on it, but imagine you're a survivor in Auschwitz when the first U.S. soldiers walk through there, and you're just I'm finally saved, dude.
Times 100.
Yeah.
Times 100, times 100, yeah.
But it's I think we can't grasp that in our modern era.
That's what I was saying.
Because we're comfortable and or we have way too high of a view of ourselves, and therefore we think, we kind of view Jesus like this cool add-on package to our cable plan. Like, like I've already got the standard channels. Yeah, well, no, go ahead with the Jesus package. Sure, let's just,
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, like we're not okay.
Yeah.
Like, when your comfort is stripped away, when tragedy happens, when you get that diagnosis of cancer in the family, when the just floor falls out, you lose your job, whatever. And like, we wonder like why suffering, why God allows suffering. It's like, well, frankly, we don't pay any attention to God until we suffer, to be dead honest with you. Like, I wish we did. I wish that in all of our happiness, the first thing we did was praise God, Yeah. But nobody does that. Everybody just, puts on their fly music, has their friends over, has some drinks, hooks up, like nobody sits there and takes time to thank God for like, oh wow, like things are good in my life because of you,
Yeah, and it's so true. Especially, I was thinking about this the other day. Before I was reborn again, it felt like I was really thinking about back that time, and it's like the only time I really ever try to connect to Jesus or God is whenever something was bad.
Yeah,
like I needed a job, or instead of doing it like every day, like I do now.
That's where that phrase is. There's no atheist in the foxhole.
Yeah,
it's like everybody when you're about to die every second, and your buddy just did die.
Yeah,
it's a little easier to believe in God at that moment than it is, when you're just chilling on your couch scrolling Netflix or whatever. So, but I mean that's the whole reason that we truly celebrate it, right? Is that, and even as believers, you got to stop and ground yourself. And I mean, because we still have cultural Christmas, right? And we still have, we still have cultural Christmas and all that. But and I want to speak to that too, because there's some people out there, and I'm probably gonna trigger a few right now. And there's a type of Christian that I'll call them the watchdogs and the pirate watchdog groups. And there's a type of Christian out there that, and God bless them, they have the truth in their mind. That they're holding the truth, but they use these times of year. Whether it's this, whether it's Halloween's got even more issues and more complex. But anytime a secular, a holiday that has been embraced by secular
Easter,
America, whatever, comes around. I mean, they use that as their opportunity to go right to social media and just blast anybody that ever looked at a picture of Santa Claus, or anybody that has an ornament on their tree, or anybody that you're just following these pagan, and they just like they go off on this rant, And like what I would like to say about this is like, first, just chill out a minute.
Chill.
All right, let's think about Jesus during his own time.
Right.
Like during his own time, you had these myth religions, these mystery cults in the pagan world around there, and you just didn't see him. There's nothing in the Gospels with him ranting and raving about like a lot of their spiritual practices that was going on in their culture at the time, right? Like, in fact, he's got the verse that says, "I didn't come into the world, to condemn the world, but to save the world." Right? Like he could have come and just condemned everybody for like, you're following these phony practices, and I think of when Paul talks to the people on was it Artemis Hill or whatever, and he points out all their idols. He's surrounded by idols, but he in a very tactful way, he doesn't just go out and just immediately blast them and insult them for what they believe, And I think that's the thing we have to understand. Christmas right now is it's a blending pot, a melting pot, a hodgepodge of many traditions, right? Like it's not.
So true.
There's some religious traditions thrown in. Wow. There are some pagan traditions from various European cultures thrown in.
Yeah, Hanukkah.
There's that same time of year you have Hanukkah. You have what Muslims do around that time of year. I mean, there's a lot of things thrown together. Some people get hung up on, well, his birthday wasn't exactly December 25th, or they'll say, oh, you're just celebrating that because you had the winter solstice, and you're just trying to like, glom on to pagan traditions. And it's like at the end of the day, like the exact date of Jesus' birth really kind of doesn't matter. Just seriously, it really doesn't matter. Like it's the most insignificant part of the thing.
True.
And if you get really hung up on that, it's like even if on a practical level, when they first started celebrating it, they decided, hey, people tend to naturally get together and share food and have festivals in the middle of winter. Let's do it then.
This is the time to do it. Yeah.
Like, it was probably a practical decision. It wasn't just them trying to like glom on to pagan traditions or anything like that. So, I would just say this: like, yes, there is a spiritual danger for your brothers in Christ and sisters in Christ to make idols of things of the season that are not Christ, right?
Yeah.
Like that can happen. But guess what? That can happen all year round. That can happen July 4th.
True.
That can happen on, pick a holiday where people shop or people eat too much or whatever, like, and we can all make
America?
in America, believe it or not, we can all make idols of excess in a physical material reality, right? We can all do
Always.
that. And of course, in Christmas, you can do it even more so because there's all these cute, But I look at it this way: it's like if having a couple, Santas in the house or an ornament here and there, like if that some tinsel on the whatever,
Right.
Like if that makes somebody feel cozy a little bit, and they still remember that the whole reason for the season is that Jesus was born.
Amen.
Then I could kind of care less, and I'm not going to sit here and waste my breath beating them down on social media to feel bad about themselves. Because I've never met any person that comes to Jesus by you making them feel terrible about how they are acting right now,
Oh, it's true, yeah.
I mean, even if you're going to do it to a fellow believer, you do it personally, in love, one-on-one.
Right.
You don't blast them on social media. So, hey, Steve, I noticed you're doing this. We have a private conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two other believers, but you don't just blast people, because all that's going to do is push people further away from Christ. So if that's your goal, if your goal is I want to be so correct and be so true that I want to push other people away from Jesus, then guess what? You have the sin of pride, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, you need to look in you and say, okay.
Here's the deal on that for sure.
You may have the truth inside of you, but you are not presenting it in love, and you're being a terrible representation. So just, I'm just saying, take it easy.
Yeah.
Focus on the important stuff. Point them toward Christ.
There you go.
Because here's the deal. Here's another deal.
Here's another deal.
Show. If you point someone to Christ, the Holy Spirit will convict them of the things they need to let go, right?
Man.
Like, you don't have to point out 15 of your buddy's idols, right? Like, you point them to the non-idol, the amazing Jesus, and let the Holy Spirit come convict them of the other idols, and over time, He will, if they truly look toward Him, if they truly follow Him, suddenly those things will start falling away.
Man.
And you didn't have to do any of it.
No Facebook rant needed.
No Facebook rant needed.
No.
So, yeah, man, had to get that off the chest.
Yeah.
So,
good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So we start counting that. We're
Good
on
stuff,
2. We're
man.
even 2-2. Tied even 2-2 here.
So, man. Some
funny hat talk?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're wearing a hat, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like the elephant's in the room. We got to talk about hats.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how a hat, whether it's the selection or I got one here. The selection or the way the style you wear it says a lot about a person, right? Especially like when it comes to baseball caps and hats. For you guys listening on Spotify, you can't see I got a hat here, but like look at how I got my hat. Here's how I like to.
We'll describe. He's wearing a Santa hat.
It's a Santa hat right now. I got a Santa hat on.
But he has a Dallas Cowboys baseball cap in his hand.
Dallas Cowboys. If you're to me, this is how I wear my hat. Hat straight on, curved like that. Now I know how some people. I don't know. Some people wear it like flat brim. We wear it sideways.
Yeah.
You can be like Fred Durst, can wear it backwards. I can't pull that off. I don't know. Can you wear a hat back? I seem like you can pull a hat backwards off.
I've been known to I won't do it primarily. Like, I don't know what the split is. I might be a 20-80 guy as far as 80% forward, 20% backwards.
Yeah.
There's just sometimes where I feel more like aerodynamic or something when I turn it backwards.
Yeah, it does. Right, if you're riding a bicycle, if you're skating or something like that, if you turn around backwards, it does kind of make more sense. And you also don't lose it. Or like when we were a little kid and they used to just throw you in the back of the truck and take you to the store, you gotta put your hat on backwards.
Now, I mean, these days they call the curving of the bill, they call that a dad hat now.
Yeah, that's the way I wear it. I wear a dad hat style.
Because when we were young and actually played Little League baseball and crap, back then you'd get a new hat and the first thing you did was you had to work that bill.
Yeah.
You wanted that bill to look like 5 guys in a dugout had sat on it for 3 weeks.
You wanted that bill dirty.
Yeah, just nasty.
Yeah. Now they just leave the stickers on there a lot. That's a big deal.
Well, a lot of them are made now. I mean, they call it what do they call it? A flip back hat. There's a name for it, but they purposely make where the bill can't move. So
yeah. And
I do have one hat that's kind of like that, and I don't mind those. But to me, they're a different reality. Like when I want to go skating, I feel like that's when the flat bill, even though the slight tilt, is super cool. Like I feel more, dope or fly for a white guy if I
Pretty fly for a while.
Yeah, if I have the that hat with a slight angle or something, just because then I'm putting on a different personality in a way. It's
exactly, that's what I mean.
Carefree, I'm skating. I got some jams in the ears. Like, yeah, bro, what's up? But if I'm just like day to day, now I don't do like the hit. I'll do like some level of bend of the bill, but I don't go crazy. There's times I used to go like super crazy.
I got the dad hat bill there for y'all watching on YouTube.
The super tunnel.
Yeah, I think that's just something I was taught when I was little, and this is how you wear it. And I've tried to do it flat or like kind of wear it sideways. It just doesn't match. It's not me, man. It has to match.
You are who you are.
Yeah, you are. I mean, like for instance, like if you was, it's kind of hat talk is amazing to me because like if you think of movies, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what's the Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Okay.
Remember that hat he had? Like that was like a wasn't it? If you take that hat out and put a baseball cap on, the movie's not. It's a totally different movie.
Yeah, I mean, then you got.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, then you got cowboy hats.
Cowboy hats.
Like I've rarely felt authentic. Like I can wear a beach bum hat, but a cowboy hat, like even if it looks great on me, like Dak Prescott can wear a cowboy hat. And it looks pretty good on him. Me, like. I just kind of feel too fake. Now, the longer my beard gets, I'm getting closer to where I might be able to pull it off. But even then, I'd rather have like I almost dig that like Australian cowboy hat, where it's kind of like smaller and they might even roll the sides up.
Nice.
It's kind of
like Crocodile Dundee.
I mean, maybe, but just that it's just a different kind of thing. It's like then you're not like truly like a cowboy. But you might be out in the wilderness where there might be some animals, but it's a different vibe, Like
for sure. Camouflage hats. You a camouflage guy? Yes or no?
I mean, I can dig camouflage. I just haven't had many of them in my life.
Yeah, me, I'm the same way.
But I kind of feel like if you wear the camouflage baseball hat, then I feel like I'm partially a militant.
Yeah.
I might be into guerrilla warfare, and I could be partially socialist. So I don't know. So you just I get a little nervous.
Stay away from it.
I'm not actually a veteran or something.
If you're wearing a hat, you go in a building, you taking it off, or that was the kind of a thing we were taught in the 80s too, in the 90s.
I mean, for the most part, I don't. But I've had moments. Like one time when I was leading worship recently at that homeless kind of shelter place.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they kind of had like a no hat policy. At one point, a dude kind of told me like, "Hey, by the way, take the hat off." And I was like, "Whoa!" I felt kind of bad, But now, weirdly enough, I don't wear them at church, even though there's plenty of like modern worship leaders that wear hats.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know why. Maybe I just don't have a slick enough hat or good enough look to pull it off. But I don't know. I feel like that's my everyday garb, and I want to wear something slightly different when I worship on Sunday. I don't know.
I can think of several people that I don't think I've ever seen in my life without a hat. Tim McGraw comes to the Cowboy singer. Never seen him without a hat. I mean, Ernest P. Worrell back in the day. And there's some people like their hat is like part of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I think there's several people out there that they always wearing a hat. My dad always got a hat on. Never. I don't think I've ever seen the man ever in my life without a hat.
I had like a knit Jamaican Rasta hat once, and not the one with the built-in dreadlocks. Even though now I could use that, but now when I mow my yard,
where do you go?
I go sombrero, dude. Full-on sombrero.
I just pictured it.
For a couple reasons. One, it's practical as heck. In that, like, I'm out in the Texas sun.
Oh, true.
It keeps the sun off your neck.
You're thinking it out.
And two, yard work's kind of miserable, so I want something that makes me laugh while I do yard work.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
It's already like miserable.
Yeah.
And then just three, I kind of want to create like a weird vibe in the neighborhood, like where they're like, oh, there's a sombrero guy, like.
Yeah.
Now I go normal, like kind of like wicker, whatever sombrero, whatever that's made of,
right?
Straw, whatever. Yeah. Like. It'd probably be too hot to go with like the black sombrero, like the Three Amigos.
Yeah, Three Amigos.
Now I've thought about like the rice hats, the hats they wear in the rice fields in Asia.
Yeah,
I think of Vietnam movies and stuff.
Yeah,
but that would be
Mortal Kombat.
Cool. Mortal Kombat, like Raiden.
Yeah.
That would seem to keep the sun off you. I've asked Tay if he could hook me up with a. Man, if he might have one of those laying around.
I think from now on, for the rest of the year, I'm gonna mow my yard in a witch hat.
That'd be fun. I did think about like a big pimp hat with a feather. Like I was just like, why is he wearing that purple pimp hat? Like,
it's March. He's wearing a witch hat still. A pimp hat. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. I mean, you can keep going. Surgical hats. Doctor has different hats from all the from the Navy to everybody. I think a lot of people. I think everybody wears different hats for different reasons. Metaphorically speaking.
I think you're right, man.
Maybe a little bit.
And that kind of leads to our last little segment here, man. Like,
before we get to that, I think it's funny that I laugh at myself when I just say something smart.
Well, this guy. What are we gonna do with this guy?
Yeah.
We can't sell him into slavery like Joseph's brothers did.
Yeah.
So we'll
please
keep him
don't,
around.
man. No, I can cook. That's about it.
So the question is, Steve.
Yeah.
Last segment here. How many hats do you wear, man? I think as men, especially as men of God, godly men,
Yeah.
we have to wear a lot of hats, man. We have to change them, like just more from a metaphorical perspective. We gotta
Right.
wear different hats. So,
Yeah.
what kind of hats do you wear, man?
Well, let's see. I definitely have the dad hat, which we talked about earlier.
Killing it. He's slaying with that.
Yeah. And then you have the wife or the husband. You got to be the husband hat. You know.
Yeah, I don't think you're the wife hat. Man.
Yeah. No.
You
They got to have the
right
husband hat. Sometimes you can wear the dad hat and the husband hat together if they're both there. But yeah, I mean, for instance, you can't. I can't. I have a work hat. When I come home from work, guess what? I got to take that hat off and put that other hat on. Get into that husband hat because, also, spiritually, now that you're a believer and people know, you can't be acting the old way. So you got to take that old hat off,
Yeah.
so to speak, and put that new hat on.
Old hoodlum hat. Put it away.
Yeah, that good news hat on, and so yeah, there's many different hats there. Wow, now that you think about that, there's so many different ones for sure. Yeah. What about you?
Good friend hat is another one.
Good friend hat, yeah. Old friend hat, yeah. Like friend, yeah, or also like you do youth.
Yeah.
It's a totally different hat you got on there than the other.
Yeah, I got a giant hat. For a bald guy, I guess it's good that I have a giant hat collection. But I need a bigger physical hat collection. But whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I got the obviously father, husband, same ones.
Yeah.
I got the kind of servant at church hat. The serving at church hat.
That's a different one too.
I have the the mentoring young people hat. Because, in youth or just even outside of youth. I had the kind of musical teaching or guiding hat.
I forgot you had that hat. You have a lot of hats. You're right. You got a big hat rack that you just pick one of them.
I got the work hat, which has now become a leadership hat there.
Right. Recently.
Which I used to have kind of a developer coder hat at work. Problem solver hat. Problem solver hat's a hard one to take off. I used to have that one at work, and I'd come home and the wife would want to tell me her problems. And man, I'm going to give you some advice here. They don't want you to solve their problems. They don't want you to solve them. You think they do. In your gut, you feel like as a man, you're supposed to solve their problems. Yeah. You're not supposed to solve their problems.
Take that advice hat off, Chris.
Just listen. Put on your listening hat. In fact, most of us men really suck at the listening hat.
We can never find that one, man. It's here somewhere. I don't know where.
Behind the couch.
Yeah, I had it on.
It's with that other sock.
I should have wore it backwards so I didn't lose it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to find the listening hat.
So true.
Good friend hat.
Yeah.
Sometimes a teacher hat.
I mean, even a neighbor. Like, you don't talk to your neighbor across the street, even though you should. Like, you talk to your coworker.
Yeah.
Like, you talk to the guy on the third row at church that you talk to. So, maybe we need to work on some of those hats, Chris. I guess.
And I think what makes it hard.
Yeah.
If you don't take time to, I'll say, spiritually and mentally self-care.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't take time, which I'm guilty of that, not enough sleep.
Yep.
Not enough, even just quiet time with God. Not enough.
Yep.
Personal worship time. There's different things that I don't get enough of. That kind of are those things that ground you in the moment, and then that lets you, when you get grounded in the moment, when you do those things successfully, okay, now I can grab other hats quickly because I'm kind of in this neutral place, not like a neutral, like a Eastern meditation emptiness kind of thing, but more of like a neutral of I'm ready to go directions that God may lead me. I'm go ready places my family need me. Like, but if you're like from another one of mine is like it's the artist hat, like, and I struggle with that because that hat battles with all my other hats.
If that hat feels like it doesn't get enough attention, like you don't wear it enough.
Absolutely.
And that hat's like almost your favorite one.
Yeah, it's my favorite one. I can spend hours on it. One of my favorite ones, I can spend hours on it. It still demands more time because there's still more I could do. And then I get in a struggle of like I have to actually set that hat down to be a good husband hat. Yeah. Or I have to set that hat down to do the thing for the church. Or I have to set, so it's like. But like, if I would be more willing to empty myself, for the sake of Christ, then I could, then I got free hands. Like if your hands are free, you can pick up any hat, you can put on any hat.
Wow.
And that's just something we all we gotta get better at, man.
Yeah.
But don't feel discouraged, man. Like do well at the hats that you have, right? And maybe you only got three right now. Maybe God, as you kind of learn to handle those hats, God can give you more hats. But then sometimes you got to leave hats behind too, because sometimes it's not a season for you to be that hat anymore. It's not a season for you to wear that hat anymore.
That old hat that you've seen in the corner, like you open your closet, it's been sitting there, and you're like, man.
And we hang on. Sometimes we hang on to hats for way too long, and God's like, I don't want you to have that hat anymore. Like, I'm moving you this other direction to pick up this other hat, and you're just like
worried about that old hat.
You're just stubborn. You like the feel of the old hat, but it feels so good, God. Why can't I just wear it? Come on.
Right.
It's my favorite hat. So.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Now I want to get me a sombrero hat for sure.
So we'll find him. I'll take him down to Fiesta or somewhere. One of these Latino supermarkets. We'll get him a nice sombrero.
Yeah. I will put my Merry Christmas hat on and say Happy Holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas.
Or if anybody listening wants to send him a sombrero.
I
don't know how you'd send it. Just send on the email. We'll give you an address.
Yeah, CWA podcast 2022 at gmail.com. CWA 2022 podcast at gmail.com.
Did you get it right?
I think I did. I think I said it wrong both times. But.
Okay. I think that's how you get hold of us. If not, put a comment in below.
No, I said it right.
Yeah. So we want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, whichever way you're doing it. We're just here to have fun and kind of occasionally get on the serious topic. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to live out our faith in front of you and be weirdos. And
be myself.
Be friends and be ourselves. So keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. We love you. We want to support you.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to roll out here with a prayer real quick.
Yeah.
And just send you on your way. So, Father God, you know the concerns of all listening, Lord. You know this time of year how people can just get, overcome with everything that's going on and too many of the wrong things, not enough of the right things, Lord. But we just ask you guide us to the right things, guide us to you, guide us to the hope that you bring, and that to know that we have the ultimate gift, that we get to unwrap it new every day. Your mercies are new every day. We unwrap it every day, Lord, and we just thank you for that gift of your Son that you sent. And Lord, just bless this time of year and bring us close to those that we love. And let us all just share in the joy of the hope that is the Christ that was born. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, guys and gals.
Peace.
Have a good one. See ya.